So as we can see from this, XRP is dropping quite sharply right now. And I want to discuss why this is happening, what I'm doing, and how we can protect ourselves against a potential market crash. But I want you guys to remember that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy sitting in his room. Please never make any financial decisions based on these videos. And no, guys, I am not bearish on the market, but we always need to look at both sides of the coin. In fact, I'm looking at this market right now and I'm thinking, could this be an opportunity for us to finally bolster our position in XRP? Now, I'm skeptical because I don't want to increase our entry point, right? I actually want to keep that entry point lovely at $2.14, but I am considering adding to this position. So if you do want to see when I make this or whenever, you got to subscribe to this channel and turn on those notifications. But with that said, guys, XRP down to $2.43. You can see all of our trades are down a little bit today. We even have our Ethereum trade that might go into the red and give us an opportunity to add. So if you've been waiting patiently for your opportunity, this could finally be it. Now, the reason XRP is down isn't anything to do with XRP, in my opinion. In fact, it's got everything to do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down $102,200, down from the high, and a very similar move to what we're seeing over with Bitcoin. It did reach a high of, over there with XRP. It did reach a high of 105,800 and is since having a pullback. But remember, guys, we've had pullbacks just like this all the way up, and we've had significantly bigger pullbacks in every single bull market we've ever been in. So right now, we have nothing, in my opinion, to worry about, but let's take a look at the accumulative long liquidations, right? So we still have tons of long in the market, but we do actually have the shorts building up. There's now $6 billion worth of shorts if Bitcoin would hit 15K and about 100 and what, almost, oh wow, oh, it's still like almost 5 billion if Bitcoin just breaks 106K. So just briefly breaking where it sits today, or its all-time high. So this is nice, right? I do think maybe we'll liquidate more people, but I don't think that this is going to be as bad as what people think. Now, why is Bitcoin down? Well, yes, it hit resistance. Yes, it's a normal pullback, but also we just got news of the PPI. It just missed, right? The PPI month over month, 0.5. The expectation, 0.2. PPI core, 0.4. Month over month, expected 0.3. Now, what is PPI? It's a key measure of prices of domestic producers receive. Contrast with recent optimism with the US trade truce on May 12, which led brokerages like JP Morgan to drop recession forecasts below 50 and Goldman Sachs to rise US GDP growth projections to 1%. This is what's affecting the market. But people don't seem to remember that this information is delayed by about a month. So this information that we're getting about PPI is from before we had a trade truce. And if we jump over here and we go over to the S&P 500, we're down 0.24%. We're down 0.4% on the NASDAQ. And this is what's closely tied to the price of Bitcoin. So the macro's a little bit shaky today. Bitcoin's a little bit shaky today, but I am not too worried. In fact, I'm eyeing up an entry for XRP right about now. If you guys do want to trade, remember you can trade over on Blowfin. You can trade the spot market, the futures market, and you can copy trade. And guys, right now we're still giving away, or they're still giving away XRP to everyone who signs up and starts trading under my link. So go and grab this opportunity. It's going to run out pretty soon, and then it'll probably just be boring USDT bonuses. So grab this while it's still there. And guys, we just had news of Coinbase being a victim of a cyber attack. Guess what they got? Names, addresses, phone numbers, emails, masked social security, last digits only, masked bank accounts. They got government ID images. Guys, you need to get yourself at least a couple non-KYC exchanges. What does that mean? It means they don't ask for any of these things. So if they get hacked, you're not going to lose any of those things. The key is don't keep money you're not actively trading on any exchange, and then have a repertoire, what's it called? An armory of different exchanges that you can jump to when something happens. And especially having some non-KYC exchanges like Blowfin is good, because guess what? If they get hacked, you're not going to lose any personal data because you don't have to give them any to trade. You can trade on Blowfin from literally anywhere in the world. So if you do want to, the links are down there in the description. And if we move away from PPI, which I think is being a little bit overblown right now, we can see Russia's central bank just acknowledged Bitcoin as the highest performing asset, which is apparently massive. We also have, not that because I couldn't prove it, we also have the global M2 money supply actually taking a little bit of a dip here, but Bitcoin is still following it almost perfectly, and this is with a 10-week lead. So if you put the 10-week lead on, it's interesting. Bitcoin basically is behind the M2 money supply by about 10 weeks. I mean, look at that. It's plain as day that it seems to be following in its footsteps. We also have PayPal just saying that they want to be the gateway product into Bitcoin and crypto. Now, why am I yapping on about all of this news when this is an XRP video? Well, as we know, Bitcoin dictates really what the overall market is doing. And because Bitcoin's pulling back and Bitcoin's pulling back because the Nasdaq's pulling back and the Nasdaq's pulling back because of that bad PPI, we have the altcoins pulling back once again. And to everyone who has been watching my pie content here on this channel, no, I did not sell my pie. I still hold it. I was just waiting for something to happen because I was a little bit disappointed with how the launch went. And I'm sure you guys were too. And what I know to do in this market is pay attention to the narratives. I think XRP is going to have another move to the upside. If you don't, then probably you can just disagree or not watch these videos. But if you do, I want to give you guys my perspective on the market every single day, because I think it's a little bit different to what you get everywhere else, right? Everyone else is perma bull. It's going to $10,000 and they don't want to talk about taking profits and all this. I'm here to actually make money, and my plan is to actually make money, to move that money into other investments like property, like stocks, all of that stuff to set me up for life rather than banking and putting all of my chips in one basket. All right. So that's my goal. And I do think it's good to listen to people who have a different perspective to you. So that's why you should subscribe. Hopefully I've convinced you to. But with that said, guys, looking at a technical level of XRP, we did just lose that resistance, which was about $2.50. Maybe we're just wicking down. The daily candle is not closed. We may very well close above this still. All right. So don't worry about it too much. We may close above this still. But what I would expect is for us to retest this liquidity zone and potentially come down to these lows. Now, what do we have here? We have liquidity that sits here, liquidity that sits here. What do I mean by liquidity? I basically mean stop losses, liquidations, and emotional capitulations. The reason why that sits here is because that's where people put them as the market moves up, below previous lows. It's just how traders work. I do the same thing, right? So if we get a big push to the downside, there may be a quick liquidity grab to get them and then to move higher. That may also happen here, right? And the reason why a lot of traders have their stop losses is they think, okay, well, if I put my stop loss there, there's no way, you can see my stop loss is just a little bit lower than that. There's no way that the market isn't dead. But in fact, we have people hunting that liquidity and then we head higher. See, I'm willing to take this risk because this is actually not closing the full position. It's just closing some of the later entries that I got. So if we did that, I'd probably add to my position, but time will tell if we get that opportunity. So that's what I'd be preparing for if you are planning to trade XRP or get involved. If you do open here, I would only open with the expectation that we may actually go lower, because then you can add to that position. If we go lower than there, you can add to it. If you are just trying to guess, it's better to wait for confirmations like that, the retest, a confirmation of flipping previous resistance into a support, and a confirmation however you guys like to trade. I like to trade just DCA. You can see the ETH trade is the perfect example. I opened one Ethereum and I opened that so I can then slowly DCA into the position. All right. So I can slowly DCA into it if we go down. If we don't, I have access to the upside. If we go down, I can dollar cost average. That's my plan. And that's the DCA method that I like to use. If you guys do want to trade, remember, no KYC or personal details. There's no risk of what happened to Coinbase happening here. You can trade from anywhere in the world, but always do your research into the platform. Read the terms of service if you plan to sign up, and go and grab your XRP bonuses right now over on Blowfin. Hopefully I've provided some value. Chill out, zoom out. I'm pretty sure this is going to be fine. And if not, we can take advantage of the dip, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.